Hello, I'm back, and today I'm going to talk about how many species of dragons there were in mythology. And I'm going to say it varies depending on the world, but I'm going to focus specifically on Europe, more specifically on medieval Europe. Not more in terms of myths and legends, not even necessarily the bestiaries. And in terms of myths and legends, I'm going to say there was probably only one species of dragon, but it was a very diverse species. And here's what I mean. And this is something that modern media usually doesn't do. They usually have certain set dragons or in set species with set characteristics, which is fine, but I think it's kind of a loss that they're not doing the all dragons are one species and just very dimorphic anymore, which I kind of like. Well, basically what I mean by that is the Tarrasque. Again, like I mentioned in the Hydra video, things like the Tarrasque, Gargoyle, the Paluda, France right now. So apparently France just had one weird species. These weren't the types of dragons these were the dragons' names. They were all dragons. They were just all very different looking from each other, but they were all still dragons. They weren't their own individual thing. Like the Tarrasque, it was called that because that's what it was named. It was the Tarrasque, but its species would be dragon. Tarrasque wasn't considered a different kind of dragon. There wasn't considered to be more than one Tarrasque. There was only one Tarrasque. It was the child of Leviathan and some fire shitting bowl. Yeah, I need to talk about that at some point. And it was just considered a creature that existed. And it was a dragon. The same with the Paluda. The Paluda wasn't a species of dragons. It was just a type of dragon that managed to survive the flood. The Gargoyle was just a water-spitting dragon. So, that's kind of how it worked for a while. The Lambton Worm was a dragon. There's no indication in the myth that there's multiple ones. I think Nucker was originally just a dragon. A single yellow dragon. In Greece, dragons were called Drakon or Drakene if they were female, and you just see a bunch of them. They're all one species, but they all look very different from each other. Typhon is one, and he has snakes for legs and snakes for fingers. His mate, Echidna, has snake from the waist down, woman from the waist up. They have a child called the Chimera, which is this lion, goat, snake hybrid, which is oftentimes by others considered Dracania. The Hydra was another one. Aladdin, which was a 100-headed dragon, was her brother. So these were all considered one same species. None of them look anything like each other. Not even a little. So, this is kind of how it was a myth. And in bestiaries, you usually get more oh, these are dragons, and here's what they do. You get a lot of uniform behavior. You don't usually get a whole lot of description. You usually get an arbor drawing, and the drawing of them usually is the same, dog-headed wyvern you always see in bestiaries. You don't even see this for dragons. You'll see snakes illustrated like this. It's weird. That's how it worked for a while. Like I said, in bestiaries, you're just getting more these are the species of animals. And I'm not sure what the change was, especially around the modern age. I think it probably had to do with more of a realization of how the natural world worked. So, we eventually realized that, animals, I think we probably eventually figured out that animals have, certain characteristics, especially now in the modern age where we know about science and stuff like that. I think in the modern age, to be honest, we're trying to turn our dragons basically into our dinosaurs. So, that's kind of what was going down. Dragons, if you look at myths, it was more just everything was a dragon, and then they could vary however the fuck they wanted, depending on appearance. They were all still dragons, so long as they were vaguely draconic. It wasn't actually considered different species. And I kind of wish more stories would use this because it's kind of interesting. It's just an interesting concept. I like the idea of not having to, classify dragons strictly about, oh, it's this species or this species. No. They're all dragons, and then just go nuts. Like, make no two dragon identical. And it's kind of a fun idea. Someone get on it. Alright. Usual, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what other videos you want to see from me. I'm gonna mention in this video, I'm probably gonna start changing up the format of these videos more. But for those cases, I don't like videos on YouTube where it's one person talking to a camera. I especially don't want to do it on my laptop, because unless I get a good camera, I don't want to do it. So I may start doing it where I just record audio and then have pictures posted over the audio. Those, personally for me, are the kinds of videos I prefer. So I'm probably going to start doing that. I'm probably going to do that for a few videos, see how it's received, and just move from there. So once again, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.